What's up, guys? My name is Victor and welcome to my YouTube page, which is all about helping people navigate their awakening process. And today's video brings me great joy because I made this suggestion to my subscribers that I'd like to make some videos going over some real powerful books that I'm going to kind of title books that will enlighten and empower you. And I wanted to talk about them very badly, and thankfully a lot of my viewers have spoken and they really are anxious for such a video. So here it is, guys. I'm going to give you guys today 3 books that will empower you and enlighten you in different and yet equally profound ways. I'm going to go over one of the more obvious ones because even though it's almost like cliche to go over, it's that awesome and that powerful and that transformative, and that is The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. Eckhart Tolle, if you guys don't know who he is, he's a contemporary spiritual teacher who is a truly enlightened, a chronically enlightened Grand Master who has made the massive awakening shift, and he embodies higher consciousness at all times. He is free of his ego, always. And he wrote that this is one of his second book, actually, his first popular book, The Power of Now. Now meaning the present moment, the power of being united with the present moment, which is basically the essence of enlightenment, phrased in an easy to grasp way. Now, this is not a book that's really super informative in the sense that you're going to learn a lot of things. What it is just several, it's really just all about pointing you to the now. He has a way with his words that help you access the now by reading his word, by hearing the way he describes life and situations and common human problems. The way his perspective is so different, and the way he phrases his words really helps you enter the now. It's a meditation to read this book. It's not something you just want to whip through and say, oh, I read that one. I have, at all times, maybe a half a dozen copies. In fact, this is like a freshly brand new book you can see at my house, because I like to give it out sometimes as a gift to people who I feel will be receptive to it, because it's something I read when I first became aware that I and the planet was going through like a massive awakening. When I first awakened, I had this really enlightening experience where I was actually able to embody the enlightened state for about a week, and then it went away. My ego reformed itself. But during that week, I was reading this book, and it was just mind-blowing to me. And I still reflect on it. It's in my bathroom. It's by my bed. I have these all over the house. I really can't say enough about it, man. If you've never read it, if you're not even familiar with this guy and you read this book, it will take your consciousness to a whole nother level. I guarantee that. This is maybe my favorite book of all time, quite honestly, Mastery. This is a roadmap for Earth Masters. He goes over a lot of history's masters like Thomas Edison, Charles Darwin, Leonardo da Vinci, Napoleon Bonaparte, Martha Graham, just people like that, people who have achieved mastery. And he traces their life and he's pinpointed a lot of really undeniable similarities in their path to mastery. And it's not always, it's never, for none of them, it's been like an easy road, just like for you, because you're on the road to being an Earth Master as well. That's why you're here, because you're destined to be a master just like them, no less. So it's very helpful to read how they did it, their mindset, the challenges they overcame and how they overcame them. This guy, Robert Greene, is the author. He has just a genius way of expressing in a very easy to grasp way what it takes to become an Earth Master. He really gets to know these people on very deep levels, and he's able to, again, convey the essence of their journey in a very step-by-step pragmatic sort of way that you can apply into your own life with great success. In fact, this book, in my opinion, if all the light worker type people who identify as being a light worker, they started to read books like this, they would start to do things differently. Before I came into this kind of information and came to this level of my own awakening, I was very one of those living in the clouds type guy. Always listening to all the different channelers, and oh wow, so-and-so channeled Archangel Michael and said that in 3 days from now there's a cosmic portal opening, pouring in massive amounts of divine love from all the higher dimensional levels of reality, and it's going to awaken humanity's heart chakras. And I was like, oh great, And I just wait for the 3 days to pass. Nothing happened. You know, if anything, I felt worse that day because this awakening creates stress in us so we can grow from it. The earth experience is about transcending and overcoming and embracing challenge and growth. And that's kind of what these masters did. They didn't have it easy. They had very rough lives, very rough challenges. Things never came easy for them. They had to dedicate years, sometimes decades, to mastering their craft before humanity saw them as real masters. That's what it takes. That's what we're all kind of doing now as people who are awakening. We're kind of being guided to the path of mastery, towards mastery. We're not being guided to a cliff where we're going to jump off into the fifth dimensional realm, okay? We're becoming aware of our choice to becoming a real earth master. And once you make that choice, this book is freaking amazing. This is going to be another unconventional book. I could go over like, you know, Osho and like kind of real common authors, and I will in the future. But I want to kind of give you guys books that I think maybe you haven't, like Mastery, and a lot of you guys might not be familiar with that. There's another one. So you guys have probably all heard of Napoleon Hill. He wrote that book, Think and Grow Rich. Very famous. One of the best-selling books of all time in all of history. It's a really awesome book about, he talked to Andrew Carnegie and interviewed him. And Andrew Carnegie suggested that he dedicate the next chapter of his life to interviewing very successful people and finding out the commonalities of how they actually acquired their massive success. What made them different? Kind of like Robert Greene did in this more of like a financial sense. Anyway, this author's known for that, but he wrote this other book, Outwitting the Devil, in 1938, and it would have been such a shock to the people of that time. He kept it hidden until recently. It was written in 1938, and only recently did it actually come out. This guy, the author, is a very famous guy, Napoleon Hill. He had an experience where he believes he was able to, in a sense, the way he writes about it is he interviewed the devil. He was able to channel the entity that claimed to be the devil, the proverbial devil that you always hear about. And for whatever reason, this devil was sort of like forced to give up his secrets of how he enslaves people and keeps them off their beaten path. And really what it is this devil is like the ego, the human ego, the collective ego, and all the many traps that it has to keep people sort of falsely identifying with it, by definition, off their path, out of alignment with their true core self. And just reading the interactions, the questions that Napoleon Hill has for the devil and the responses of the devil is just fascinating. It will truly resonate deeply with people who are on the path, because you will see that this devil he's speaking of again is you, is all the blockages you have within yourself that are standing in the way of your enlightenment. So it's a really good way of seeing the ego structure for what it really is, so you can make different choices in every given moment when you can recognize faces of your own ego. It's just incredibly entertaining, incredibly enlightening, very insightful, very useful, and again, paints a very clear picture of what you have at all times, essentially, within you, trying to stifle your ultimate success of ascending and awakening. So that's all for today, folks. I created like a web page on my website where I list, and there's some more books on there too, and I'll make videos about, but I list some of my favorite books that enlighten and empower you. I also give a little bit of a review on it, and then also I leave a little Amazon link if you guys want to go buy it. So there's that. I'll keep adding books as I see fit. I'm always reading, usually multiple books all at one time. And oftentimes I talk about books all the time, but I've been reading this one huge book that's like 600 pages that's kind of been occupying a lot of my time. It's an autobiography of Arnold Schwarzenegger, which is just an amazing, fascinating book, because he is an example of a human being who came from nothing, that attained ridiculous success, and just hearing the way learning the way he thinks and the way he sees the world is very valuable. Anyway, so that's why I haven't been posting so much on my Facebook page. I usually post little snippets of what I've been reading. Another book I'm reading right now is called The One Thing. It's an awesome book about increasing your productivity as a human being so you can achieve your goals much faster. I'll talk about that in a later video. That's another real good one. Anyway, I don't want to get too off track, guys, but If you guys enjoyed this, let me know, and I'll make a few more videos that pertain to books. But again, these 3 books I gave you are very solid. They're they really will help you grow and jump up to the next level in your life, in your empowerment, in your consciousness. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Again, you can check out the website below where I have even more reviews of other books that I found very beneficial to me in my journey along the way. And with that, I will close. Peace.